Good morning, world of readers. I am Book Dragon Erin, and I would like to welcome you all back to my booktube channel, where today I will be talking about two books I did not finish reading and won't ever reread in the coming future. Let's get right into our little book talk. The first book on this list is Big Burly Killer by Erin Havoc. It is a fictional romance novel, and it is book 11 in the Forbidden Curves series. It's also an age gap love story between an older man and a younger woman who is also our BBW heroine. Now, for those of you who don't know, BBW is a big, beautiful woman. The heroine is a heavy-set nurse who is on the train to the hospital she works at when she sees the hottest older man she has ever laid eyes on staring right at her. She experiences curvy confidence and gives her number to the guy, whom she then thinks is staring at the woman behind her. She thinks herself the butt of some cruel joke, but she's actually surprised when the older man shows her attention and affection. Whereas the woman behind her on the train winds up dead the next day. Why did I not finish reading this book? I am a curvy girl who has struggled with weight throughout my life, and I don't generally read books within the BBW trope. I mean, I don't dislike the curvy woman trope, but it really isn't my favorite subgenre to read. Besides, of course, the fact that I couldn't remember any of the characters' names 5 minutes into reading the book because I felt this book was truly forgettable. And that's on me. If you enjoyed this series, if you enjoyed this book, that's fine for you. I just didn't share in the opinion that I enjoyed this book. The plot itself didn't hold my attention, and I'm sorry, but the description of what's-her-name was just so unattractive. I've never liked the look of bob cuts on heavyset women, but that's just my own insecurity because when I was 198 pounds, I did have a bob cut, and I hated the way I looked because I love long hair. That's the first thing. Second thing is, anytime I have short hair, I feel like it makes my head look smaller and my body look bigger. So with longer hair, I feel it accentuates my curves in the right ways possible. So again, it's my own lingering insecurity that has nothing to do with what's her name, and I have nothing against her because she's a nurse, she's helpful to people, she's kind, and I do like her personality. It's just how she looks I didn't really like because, again, my own insecurity. The second book on this list is Wishes in Winter by Scarlett Scott. Wishes in Winter is a historical fiction holiday romance novel, and it is a novella in the Wicked Winters series. The trope that's focused on most is the brother's best friend theme and the Christmas love story theme. Taking place in the 1800s, I don't actually remember the exact year this novel takes place. A young woman goes to a Christmas party where she encounters her brother's best friend, who has always secretly been in love with her. When he makes his intentions known to her, that he only wants to be with her or nobody at all, she at first doesn't believe him, but he is determined to steal her heart and make her his and marry her. Moving right along into my thoughts on why I did not finish reading this book, much as I love history and romance novels, I am just never able to get into historical romance novels, and I have no idea why. I couldn't even get into the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon, so how was I ever going to stand a chance being able to get into this novel? I mean, it's less than 200 pages, and what would normally take me 2 hours to read this book, I was so slow in reading this book progression that it took me 3 hours over a course of 3 days to read 50 pages just because I did not like it, and as far as I'm concerned, I am not going to sit around anymore reading a book I dislike. My love for history is based in mysteries itself, like the true identity of Jack the Ripper, or the location of the original Roanoke colony, or the much darker stuff like what happened in the concentration camps during World War II. Getting back into my reasoning for not finishing this novel, I found the leading lady, whose name I also forget, to be a bit aggravating. She seems to have a modern mindset with modern values in a historical time period, which always irritates me when reading historical fiction novels. I know every girl wants their independence, but the way Scarlett Scott writes this heroine, it doesn't seem all that believable to me. I mean, I am a historical interpreter, meaning I dress up in historical clothing from, say, the Revolutionary War or the Civil War, and so I know what women were expected to do in that time period because I study it. And just the fact that a typical woman in the 1800s would want their own independence and learn new things, yes, every woman wants that, but it was a different time with much different values that we are not accustomed to anymore in today's culture. I mean, a woman back then was almost expected to get married and have babies, so a single woman who lusted after knowledge of astronomy was a bit strange to the typical 1800s woman. And my final reason for not finishing this book doesn't actually have to do with the plot itself, but let me clear up things here. I was going through a book slump while attempting to read this book, and when it was clear I wasn't going to enjoy spending 2 hours of my time reading this book, I gave up because the progression was so slow. I could not get into it, and it almost felt like mind torture just reading this book because it was just so slow. I wasn't into the book, to say the least, and I wasn't going to force myself to read a book I didn't like with progression that was nearly non-existent. So honestly, I didn't finish that book. I didn't finish the other book, Big Burly Killer. And I honestly don't think I will be going back to reading either of those books, and I have no qualms against that. All in all, though, I hope you enjoyed today's video. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my booktube channel to get more videos like this, turn on that notification button to be notified when I upload brand new videos every single Sunday. Keep on reading and have a great day. Also, I have a second channel, Erin Rogoff Official, where I post movie reviews, TV show reviews, and art vlogs. So if you want to check out my other interests, check that channel out because I am trying to get more videos on that channel as well, just as much as my booktube channel. So, with all that in mind, I will see you all next Sunday.